What's up, you guys? Slasher Movies here, and it's that time, finally that time where I can bring you guys my favorite video, and that is the top 10 best horror movies of 2018. Yes, you heard it. This is my favorite video to make because this is when I get to glorify the horror movie genre and share with you guys my personal favorite films of 2018. Man, 2018 was a rock solid year for horror. We had so many incredible horror films that making this list was incredibly difficult. So of course, like every year, I've got a few honorable mentions I want to shout out. These films did not make the list, and the fact they didn't make the list blows my mind. And those films are Overlord, The Endless, Mandy, Unsane, and Unfriended the Dark Web. Starting my list off at number 10, I have The House That Jack Built. I know this is a little bit of more of a controversial film because this comes from Lars von Trier, who is a very much of a problematic filmmaker, but what I loved about this film is just the visceral nature of it. Man, Lars von Trier just throws it all at the screen. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I love this film. Yes, it's a metaphor for his life in a lot of ways, and it does make you worry for the director as a whole, and as you can see, mirrors of his life being thrown at you on screen. But man, was this thing just haunting and visceral, and offers some of the most shocking sequences I've seen in a really long time. Coming in at number 9, I have Suspiria. Look, I'm so surprised that this movie is as good as it is because when the moment this project was announced and that I heard that they were taking away the color palette, I was so against this movie. But what I love about this movie now, having seen it, is it has its own identity. It's its own separate beast. It honestly actually does play very respectful to the original Suspiria while being its own entity on its own. And I love the camera work. I loved how much of a 70s horror film this felt. Like, honestly, this felt like a lost 70s horror film that was just plucked from the ground and we're finally now seeing it. I thought the performances were incredible, from Dakota Johnson and Tilda Swinton and Mia Goth being the true standouts in my opinion. I like the sort of nightmarish, hypnotic feeling experience that this movie puts you on, and it's just a really incredible movie. It's not perfect by no means, but it does give you some absolutely jaw-dropping horror sequences, like Olga's dance. Ugh, man, that freaks me out. Coming in at number 8 is Halloween. Halloween was an absolute blast. I'm a big, massive slasher movie fan. It practically screams it in the title of this channel, and this movie was no surprise. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was actually scary, but it stayed true to what makes the slasher movie genre so special to me, while also staying true to the Halloween franchise brand. In my opinion, this is the best film in the franchise next to the original. It actually has a little bit to say about grief and family dysfunctions, and honestly, it's just a flat-out blast. Michael Myers is fantastic in this film, and the slew of new characters are great, and David Gordon Green really does a great job directing this thing. Number 7 is Anna and the Apocalypse. What a delightful little film. This is definitely a horror film on the more lighter side. It's a horror comedy musical set during a zombie apocalypse at Christmas time. Yes, this movie was practically made for me. It's like Shaun of the Dead meets High School Musical. The musical numbers are fun and catchy, and I've been listening to the album non-stop since it come out. This thing is charming. I love the cast and the characters. I love the kills. I love the honestly the suspense in the film at times. It's a really fun film, and it has cult status written all over it. Coming in at number 6, I have Upgrade. Upgrade is a blast. This movie is one of the best directed films I've seen. Hate how underrated I feel like this movie got. I feel like not enough people went and saw this film, but Leigh Whannell kills it. The story is fascinating. The acting by Logan Marshall Green is phenomenal, and the camera work in this thing is absolutely jaw-dropping. Leigh Whannell does an incredible job in this with this film, and he makes it look so effort and easy when we know that was far from the case. It's just also probably the most rewatchable film of 2018. Coming in at number 5, I have A Quiet Place. This movie was a box office juggernaut in 2018, and it comes from John Krasinski, that, guy from The Office. Turns out he's got a dark side to him, and this was tense, claustrophobic. It really puts you in the heart of things, and I like the visceral experience of it. This was also probably the best theater experience of 2018 in a lot of ways, in a sense it was very exciting and tense to watch audience members try to eat their $8 popcorn without making any sound. It was so incredible. The sound design was amazing. The performances were fantastic. Emily Blunt gives one of the best performances in a horror film in 2018. She was absolutely incredible. And this was just a great immersive horror experience, and one that actually had a little bit of brains outside of its scares. Coming in at number 4, I have Revenge. Now, Revenge blew me away. This thing was gnarly. It was fast. It was intense. This is a rape revenge film, but it is shot in a sort of a way that gives you sort of a male gaze, and then when it switches to the female gaze, it's incredible. Like, this is visceral. It's intense. It never lets up. It's short, sweet, to the point, but it also has something to say. And honestly, the fact that this is even a subgenre might be a little problematic, but this is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best rape revenge film I have ever seen. Now, coming in at number 3, I have Annihilation. Now, Annihilation is a sci-fi horror film starring Oscar Isaac, Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and we follow a group of women as they go into this thing they call the Shimmer, and the sort of horrors and weird elements start to manifest as they try to uncover the truth of what's going on. And what I liked about this film is sort of the almost religious, nightmarish, lucid dream type of experience this film puts you on. I can almost guarantee that the interpretation and experience that you have will probably be different than the person next to you have, which in my opinion opens up for some very fascinating conversations afterwards. But also, the movie's super unsettling in all of its ambiguity and mystery. And honestly, there are some absolutely jaw-dropping visuals that will both have you shocked in wonder and shocked in terror. Because like that bear scene, Number 2, I have The Haunting of Hill House. Yes, I know, this is a TV show. I'm cheating here because this thing was so good, I had to put this thing on my list. This blew me away. Now, this comes from Mike Flanagan, who gave us Oculus, Hush, Ouija Origins of Evil, Gerald's Game. But I did not know this man had this amount of talent hidden within inside of him. This is the best thing I've ever seen him do. The character work, the discussions about family dysfunctions and mental health, and all that is explored deeply in this thing. But what I loved about it is, in a sense, yes, you have these dark subjects, but the horror is still there. They've built the horror around these very deep discussions, and in a sense, it makes it a sort of an emotional horror show, and a sense that I was so gripped in every episode. I mean, every episode is fantastic in my opinion, but 5 and 6 are some of the best horror television I've ever seen, with 6 just being an absolute masterclass in direction. And of course, we've made it to the end, ladies and gentlemen. My favorite horror movie of 2018 should come to no surprise: Hereditary. This thing spoke to me. In a lot of ways, I felt connected towards this film as it manifested, honestly, elements of my own life onto the screen. The talks about family dysfunction, mental health, it's all deeply explored in this thing, and everyone in this thing is giving powerhouse performances. Ari Aster's direction is my favorite of the year. He makes it so personal and contained, and while also making it feel like the nightmare could be happening anywhere. I love Toni Collette. Toni Collette's performance in this is one of the best horror performances I may have ever seen, and the fact that it's going unrecognized by the Academy really, really irks me, because this is an incredible film. It's terrifying. It's scary. It'll break you down to a million little pieces, but also it has so much to say, and this is honestly one of the best directorial debuts I may have ever seen. I was so blown away by Hereditary, and that's why it's my favorite horror film of 2018. So you guys, there you have it. Those were my top 10 favorite horror movies of 2018. What movies did you personally love in 2018? Let me know in the comments section below. And until next time, you guys, I'm the Slash Movier, and you guys have just been slashed.